Welcome, everybody, to yet another first episode of Subpar Overachievers. I am 1/3 of the hosting team, John Lamb.
And I am Richard, the other third.
And I am Scott McIntosh, the other half.
That math doesn't compute.
No.
Here we are, first episode, guys. Good to be on the program. Today, we're doing our top 10 comedies. And no, we're not doing a single top 10. I'm doing a top 10. Rich is doing a top 10. Scott's doing a top 10. So, yes, audience, for the low, low price of one podcast, you get 3 top 10. How's that?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bargain.
It's a bargain deal.
I saw, before we get into top, I saw, what did I see last night? John Wick.
Yes.
The first one or second one?
Second one.
I still haven't seen either yet. I gotta get on
You're
that.
a horrible person.
I haven't seen the
I
first one.
was
I didn't
great.
even see the first one.
What?
No.
You gotta watch them. They're great.
I guess I'm going to. You know, Keanu Reeves is a terrible actor.
Yeah.
He is.
They give him no more than, not even, I guess you call it a line, but it's like 2 or 3 words to speak. And then that's it. It cut to the next character. And even when he talks, half the time, his face is not on screen.
That's the easiest job ever.
He has become an action star, kind of like I guess a poor man Schwarzenegger. Only he was born here and not Austria.
And doesn't have any muscles.
It doesn't make any sense why he cannot act, I guess.
I think Schwarzenegger may have better acting chops than Keanu Reeves himself.
Yes, I agree. I would agree.
But you know what? Keanu Reeves, based on the stories that I've read about him as a human being, I like him as a person.
Yes, he's a great person.
Yeah, but we're not watching him as a person on TV or the movies.
I know, but you know, I'm continuing to pay his paycheck, put some money in his pocket, so he can continue to be a good human being. What's wrong with that?
Oh, so you go to the coffee shop and the guy's just a terrible coffee maker, but you're like, man, that's a good person. I want him to keep working here and making my coffee.
Why not?
Because you
As
complain about
opposed
everything.
Why not? That's what relationships are about, right? I know. I have no relation to Keanu.
Yeah, that's a detour.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Logan. That definitely had some great acting in it. Saw it Thursday night. Hugh Jackman and he did a great job for one of the. Well, I don't know. He says it's his last Wolverine movie, but that movie's violent. It's more violent than John Wick 2. Extremely violent. On par with kind of Kill Bill violence.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
I can dig that.
Like cartoon violent, Quentin Tarantino, Django violent.
Not as much as cartoony. I mean, I think just as many people died, like in Kill Bill or Total Recall. It's a throwback.
Wow.
Wow, Total Recall. That has the most deaths of any movie.
I think I haven't seen so many people decapitated in a movie. I think ever. I mean, it's like Faces of Death, brutal,
decapitated,
murder.
Heads rolling.
Yes. At one part, someone was walking around with somene's head. I mean, it's a. Now,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert to that one.
I'm not sure that spoils any part of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the story is still intact if you know that heads are rolling in a Logan movie.
Yeah.
Soon as that guy's walking around with that head, I'm gonna be like, I already knew this.
Knew
was gonna
that,
happen.
That was bound to happen.
I would say though it has a very this may sound ironic, but it's a great family story. After you get past all the blood and decapitation, there's a great family story.
Is it a great story about families, or is it a great story for family?
It's a great story about families about families. Yeah.
I can't imagine. It's Thanksgiving time after the meal, and around the fireplace, we're all gathered around telling our traditional Logan story.
Yes.
Not a great story for family with the heads rolling.
No. Yeah. Spoiler alert, John.
Thanks,
Spoiler
man.
alert.
Thanks for letting me know.
All right.
Man. I was wondering whether that guy is going to keep his head on his shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah. So at least one person.
Yeah. Well, we're not here to talk about Logan or about John Wick.
That's good. I haven't seen it yet.
You should go check it out. Good action. Top 10 comedies, top 10 action flicks and cartoons and comic book movies will come up in another episode. But today is top 10 comedies, and I guess we'll just kick it off, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Number 10. All right, I'll kick it off. Number 10 on my list is Reno 911.
I have diplomatic
Awesome.
immunity.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie. I did pick up some shows, but go for it,
Oh, there's
John.
a guy that loses his head and somebody carries his head around for like the movie. Crazy.
Spoiler.
It's some really tight shorts.
Now, this movie is just silly, good fun. And yes, Scott, I know what you're about to say. That I like this movie just for that one line. No, I like this movie in its entirety, but that one line is hilarious. Patton
It is.
Oswalt jumps back into the scene out of nowhere. And he says,
No immunity to bullets.
Wow.
fires off a couple
Wow.
shots, kills Paul Rudd, and then off he goes out of nowhere. That's
Spoiler
hilarious.
alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert for that one.
Hello, come on. If you haven't seen these movies,
Okay, let me ask you this. I agree. 911 is funny. It's not in my top 10 or even honorable mention. But when was the last time you saw Reno 911?
you're right. Of my top 10 movies, I've seen them all, the other 9, probably at least a half a dozen times. And this one I've seen maybe 1.5 times.
You can't put that in your top 10. You only
I
seen
know.
it once.
Well, here's my other question then, okay? We all see each other's honorable mentions.
Yeah.
How does Reno 911 beat the other ones? That's what I need to know.
Yes, there's some good ones.
I mean, you got Beverly Hills Cop right there.
Yeah.
I know that's a classic. It was closer in
You got
memory
Dumb and Dumber,
proximity for me.
Ace Ventura.
I know,
Okay.
I know.
Okay,
It's,
okay.
it's on, I have no.
Hey, it's your list. It's your
Your
list.
I have
McDonald's
no
movie,
other
I
means
get
of
it.
justification for that. I just like it a little bit better than the other one, just a little bit better. But the other ones
Gotcha.
that are on my honorable mention, pretty darn, they're all almost tied for 11.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. So we're gonna meet.
Rich,
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it would be helpful to share what I don't know, our definition of I guess comedy, funny, because even what you talked about, John, of your list and how Reno 911 edged out the other movies more. And before I get to mine, I mean, or is it something like while in the moment for you, John, that this movie made me feel good? It stuck with me more than the other movies because comedy is subjective. So what did it?
what was that?
Someone coughing.
Yeah, I tried to take off my mic so you guys wouldn't hear me. Sorry.
That's awesome. So yes, John.
Yes, Rich.
Sorry, guys.
I'm a little
So-
thrown off
so-
by Scott's choking of his
Tackle McGee over here.
pet gerbils over there.
He objects. He objects my point.
No, I think what Rich is trying to say is like, how do you define comedy? And
yeah.
I think it's
Would help,
funny
yeah.
because I look at mine, and each one of them has a different version of comedy.
Right.
I think that's probably how we all look at it. Like Reno 911 is probably like John's McDonald's comedy, right? It's his fast food. It's like,
Go-to,
okay,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
funny. I'm gonna laugh. Some of these, like, you can watch a million times and you'll laugh every time. Some of them are smart, funny. Some of them are slapstick. It's just like that's for me. I don't know for John.
Reno 911
Okay.
was a stupid TV comedy that I stuck, right? It's like the sitcom that snuck into the silver screen.
Mhm.
'Cause the other ones on my list here, they are all movie. Reno 911 was the only one that came from it legitimately.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, fair enough. And I just think it helps. It helps obviously for me to like even what Scott had shared about his coming up with his top 10. I think even for the audience to be able to better understand. I think for me, before I get into my 10, I think I rank obviously funny. It's a comedy. If it's not funny, it'd be kind of pointless for that. But I rank funny, watchability, and then I watch the quality of movie because obviously some of these on here, I mean, comedies can suffer that. It's almost like horror film where you there's a ton of them, and very rarely you get some really good ones out of it. And I think over the years, through the decades, we've got some pretty bad comedies.
Yeah.
But out of that, you get some really good gems. So for me, it's funny, watchability, and then just overall movie. And so my number 10 is Dumb and Dumber. Now I came late to the Dumb and Dumber thing when it came out in '94.
Well, hang on.
I actually hated it.
Hey,
Yes.
hang on.
You're supposed to punt that one.
Oh, it's right. That's right.
You've already
Punt.
failed.
I failed already. I defer.
Your
higher.
number 10 is higher on somebody else.
It's higher on someone else's list, people.
Yeah.
This is a great first episode, guys.
So
Hey,
we're
we
already
gotta work
screwing
out
up.
the
Scott's
kinks.
hacking. I'm
Cough-
all over the
cough out
place.
cough.
Scott's choking gerbils.
And
So-
we
so I
talked
guess that
about
means
Reno
I'll go.
911.
Yes,
that's
Scott.
right. That's a terrible first thing to do.
No one's gonna listen to this podcast.
Already off to a great.
I think. So my number 10 is on nobody else's list. I don't think check. Yeah,
Those are my
okay.
honorable mentions. Those are
No,
my
no,
honorable.
see that. So I got Office Space. It's also on John's honorable mention. Office Space is one of those movies I can just watch over and over again and laugh all the time. I even try to do the boss every once in a while. I try to go, yeah, to people who've never seen the movie.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's just for me, and I enjoy it because each section of the movie is great and actually flows well. I don't think Jennifer Aniston is great in the movie, but everything
She's not
else,
great in anything.
yeah, well, Friends, I guess. But outside of that, I mean, flows, funny.
Yeah.
The main character, you follow him pretty easily. I mean, you got the neighbor that's knocking on his wall all the time, telling him to turn to.
Oh
channel
yeah.
news.
Oh, who's that guy? I love that dude.
He's from a lot of stuff. Like he's like a journeyman.
Yeah, it's good.
Wasn't he on the Drew Carey show?
Yeah.
Yes, he does a
He was
lot of
also,
like
Cruise Line.
Great.
He played.
Yes.
Didn't he played Jethro Clampett in the Clampett movie.
Yep. I didn't see it, but yeah.
Anyway, that killed it. Wow. One statement just killed the flow. Sorry, guys.
Nice,
John
nice.
Lamb, momentum killer.
Well, you mentioned movies that nobody will ever want to watch in their lives.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Sabotage the show, John.
Gilligan's Island, the
can't-
movie.
Clampett. So we're gonna to end the conversation. To say Jack Clampett.
Where did Jethro Clampett come from?
Yes. Tricked about
Office
what we were all
Space.
Anyway,
Office Space
Okay.
to me, I was late to the game on Office Space because at the time I didn't really have any Office experience when somebody introduced it to me. Plus, I was watching it at like 3 a.m. in my college days, so I wasn't really absorbing a lot of the comedy. When I watched it again after I had some Office, then it was hilarious. Then I knew all the just because the first watching experience to me wasn't your watching. That's why that's the
Gotcha.
only reason.
I got you.
But I love it.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
it's an awesome movie. I know for me, it is one of those movies that again came late to the game, and it was just right there for me because that movie again, my list in terms of watchability, that movie you can watch anytime. You can pick it up at any part of the movie and just laugh. And the boss, I'm looking at the credits here. Gary Cole, the guy who played the boss there, the coffee dude. He is such a great actor for certain roles. That he comes in. I thought he did such a great job in that role for that. And it's just one of those kind of I don't know what it did at the box office, but it's just one of those movies that kind of lives on, a kind of cult classic.
Yeah.
That I agree.
It's
It's
a
such a
sleeper.
great comedy.
It's a
It
sleeper.
is.
It's a good one.
Very much so. Yeah.
Rich, why don't you kick off number 9?
All right. Does anyone else have the number 9 here? Do I need to punt? All right. Let's make sure.
You're
Reno
okay.
911 Part 2. Part 2. No, it's mine is Coming to America. And
Yes.
I love that movie. Again, the funny is there, watchability is there, and it, for the most part, its story works. It goes through. I don't know if it's a great movie overall, but I think the story works, and it was something different, especially in the '80s where you had just overall. I think even for me, obviously I have an African American background. Well, not obviously. If you're listening to this, you don't even know.
How's that obvious? How's that obvious?
Hey guys, obviously I'm black.
Couldn't you tell by my voice
Yeah,
inflection?
exactly.
You're a self-racist. You're a
I think
selfist.
it's great because I think for me, I wrote it down. This movie came, I think, in '88, and it especially in the '80s, you had NWA. It wasn't a whole lot of good positivity for African American, and I think that this was really cool when I watched it as a kid. That wow, like it brought some credibility and just from
Did you
African.
just
it was
place
a
Eddie
different-
Murphy up on
No.
the hill as the beacon of African American communities?
I know. That's definitely questionable. But he played it straight. I think this is the movie that he played it straight more than any movie because usually he's crude. I think this was a different choice for him and a different direction for him because he's usually the crude guy from Detroit, cussing like obviously Beverly Hills Cop is one of my top comedies, and I loved him for that. I thought he was a genius in that movie. But this, he played it straight as a totally different role. I thought Arsenio Hall in this movie was hilarious. I think it was
Yes.
Rick played. He is hilarious. And then obviously, I think this is kind of the signs. I think that I can recall the first movie that the signs where you see Eddie Murphy in different roles with makeup and as well as Arsenio Hall and James Earl Jones is good in everything.
Prince of Zamunda.
Yeah, this is the movie we first get to see Samuel L. Jackson. He robs McDowell's.
Oh my gosh.
I
didn't
forgot about
realize
that.
Everybody shut up and do what I say. Get the money out. Stay cool. Nobody gets hurt. Take the money out! All of it! Don't stall me, fat boy. Let's go! Come on!
This is his first movie, and
Oh,
I
that's
just,
right.
it is so many cool callbacks here. And again, a movie that I can watch, a ton of fun in it, and
The coolest
I just think-
callback. You
Yeah.
got to give this to
But
me.
yeah, I'd love to hear you guys.
The
Yeah.
coolest callback is when Eddie Murphy gets off the plane. He arrives in America and then chucks. Didn't he chuck a couple of bums some money?
What did you give him?
Oh, I just gave him some pocket change.
Randolph! Leave me alone, Mortimer! Randolph! Randolph! Look! Mortimer, we're back.
And they were the Duke brothers from Trading Places.
That must mean it's the same director or same writer.
Could have been, at the very minimum, the same casting.
Was that a prequel?
I don't, but the
to,
casting director wouldn't write that.
Trading
after
Places
cred-
did. Trading Places did come before Coming to America.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And then John's trying to do a call forward too, but no spoilers here.
Come on, man.
911.
All right.
Scott.
Yeah,
is
what,
it
what's
me?
your thoughts on it?
Oh, okay. Skip you then, John, and then go to me. So I got for my number 9, Tommy Boy, and I don't see it on your guys's, but that's okay. I'm not sad.
It's up there.
Honorable mention, that's fine. But for me, Tommy Boy is completely rewatchable over and over again. It's like you were saying a second ago about Office Space, where it could be on at any point in the movie. You're like, okay, I'll just watch the restaurant now, because every moment has a funny. And I think for me, it connects to one of my other favorites, which is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is, I think, in my honorable mention. But it's one of those movies, it's like a buddy movie, but then it's also like slapstick that ramps up all the way to the end. Like
Right,
it gets
yeah, yeah.
crazier and crazier. And you're like, okay, it can't get crazier. And then a deer attacks the car. It's insane. And then it's got a
Right.
ton of quotables for me.
Is that the fat guy in a little coat?
That's not my favorite quotable, but yeah,
Really?
that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
people
yeah,
use a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
All right,
think
come
I-
on. Give us the best line. Best line of the movie.
I
What's your
think the best
line?
line is when he's trying to talk to the pretty girl in the pool, and he's like, "Which way's the gym?" And he starts pointing, and both him and blanking on
Spade.
and David Spade sees him through the window, and he's pretending to be Tommy and saying the same line, messing with him, like he knows he's doing it, and he's totally doing the stupid line. Oh, which way's the gym? And he's like flexing towards the way. So I think that's my favorite.
Big day tomorrow. Hope we can keep this momentum going.
Yep, that'd be good.
Richard, who's your favorite little rascal? Alfalfa? Or is it Spanky? Sinner.
Yeah.
Tommy
No,
Boy.
Tommy Boy is great. Yeah.
Boy, it didn't even make. I didn't even.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of physical. A lot of. I mean,
Right, yeah.
I expect enjoy it.
That's all right. You got your Beverly Hillbillies, man. That's good.
Or Reno 911. I love Tommy. Tommy Boy is a great movie. It's my wife's favorite, one of her favorite comedies. And you know, we'll say, I mean, there's a couple of comedies we can watch together. Tommy Boy is one of them that she loves, and for me too. It was in my honorable mention, and it was just so hard. I mean, you know, those are to get it down to 10. It's so difficult, and I kept going back and forth with Tommy Boy because, yeah, like you said, a lot of quotable lines, and I think that to me, I think it's Chris Farley's best movie in terms of comedy that he did. You know, he did Beverly Hills Ninja and Black Sheep. Like, oh my goodness,
Black Sheep
but-
is basically Tommy.
yeah, exactly. And so I think, and I think that's for me that, you know, it just he's one of those guys again. You know, like John mentioned, he does a lot of physical comedy, but it's just one of those good movies that I agree with you.
You know, okay, so for the audience, Rich, you mentioned this, that your wife likes it. Just for the audience to know, under full transparency, full disclosure here, she also likes Charisma in the Middle of America.
What's that?
She does Son-in-Law.
Oh my god.
That's her favorite.
But that's
comedy.
okay. I mean, you guys found your common
That's
ground.
not okay. That is
You
not
don't
okay.
you don't have anything in your top 10 that are movies like that. So I
No.
think you
Yeah.
escaped.
No, there is Reno 911. So
Well, John's
So
wife
John
doesn't
can't-
even like
John-
that.
Reno 911, it may not be
Your
on
wife
your
doesn't
top
even
10.
like it.
It may not be on
Reno
your top 10,
911
but it is
actually
objectively
funnier
a
on
good
TV.
movie. It's objectively funny.
which you haven't seen in years. You
Yeah.
can't remember.
All right, fine. But when I do see it again, which maybe I'll
You
do, maybe I'll do when we finish the podcast, guys,
Tell us about
Promise.
it.
and
when
I'll
you see
and
it.
I'll report back.
Okay.
It is
report.
objectively a good movie.
Okay.
Son-in-law, no,
Not.
not.
But to defend Richard, he has seen all the Ghost Rider movies.
I have.
So
But I didn't put him in my top 10 though.
no, you didn't.
That's gonna
Okay,
be
John.
a leitmotif.
You
Back to
got,
John.
you got 9.
Back to me.
You hit the floor.
All right, number, what are we at? 8?
You're still 9. You
Oh,
did
my
really
number
nice.
9. Sorry, my number 9. Ace Ventura 2,
Which beats out Ace Ventura.
which beats out Ace Ventura. Yes. Ace
for the
Ventura.
roll.
Ace Ventura 1 was on the bubble. Ace Ventura 2.
Okay.
So many more memorable scenes in that movie.
I agree.
He's flying over with the in the parachute,
Somebody's laughing right now.
dying laughing, just recalling the memories.
Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna. Hi there, nice to see you. Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna. Excuse me. Your balls are showing. Bumblebee tuna.
3 darts is too much!
Throw it. I dare ya. Don't just stand there. Throw me a spear. It's in the bone. It's in the bone.
He comes out of the rhino scene is the best. It's the funniest
rhino.
part of it.
It's in the bone. It's in the bone.
Yeah.
He rolls around and he's quick, turn out the light. I could go from scene to scene. Every scene in that movie is hilarious.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
That's what
Yeah, I mean it's and that I think all the first 2 funny for me. Yeah, I mean it was there. I just the movie, overall, I think that's why it didn't make my top 10 or honorable mention. There's a ton of funny parts in there, but I think it just seems that that's what it was. A lot of funny parts versus the first Ace Ventura had a pretty good story to it.
Oh,
A
come
very
on.
oddball story that
Somebody stole a dolphin.
He
That's
stole
good
a
story to
dolphin.
you?
Yes.
Stole
In
a
terms
dolphin.
of it's a detective story, and as you follow through, it was to me better, kind of circling around with some twists and turns type versus Nature Calls. To me seemed it was a bunch of sketches put together for just that. At least the funny parts with at least the first one for me kind of flowed with the movie. Like Nature Calls, I agree, it had more like standout moments, but when you take a step back and how they all folded. I mean, the dude's getting birthed from a rhino. I mean, which is hilarious. But how does that fit with the story? You know what I'm saying? I just think that fit me, so.
Yeah.
Every
But I mean,
time, every time I pull into a difficult parking spot, I turn to my wife
glove.
and I say, "Like a glove."
But
Every
you get
time.
that from the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Was
But
it?
yeah,
It
I
was.
probably-
Okay.
It was first in the first one, and then he did a lot.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I think the pair of the movies is fantastic.
Right,
Ace,
yeah,
Ace
yeah.
2 just slightly.
I hear you.
No, I hear you.
It's yours.
Yours forever.
All right, Scott, number 8.
You want me to jump to 8 then?
Go to 8.
We got it. I put Royal Tenenbaums in here, and
Great movie.
it's not necessarily set up as a comedy, but to me, I love Wes Anderson movies, and to me, this is the funniest Wes Anderson movie. And I almost put Grand Budapest Hotel in because that one's hilarious too. But I feel like this one has these moments in the movie that if you just turned on the TV and watched it, you're like, okay, why is that funny? But you had to watch it all the way through to get the context of who Royal is, and then you see the funny. And I think
Right,
there's so many parts, like even when he's talking to his
He saved my life, you know. 30 years ago, I was knifed in a bazaar in Calcutta. He carried me to the hospital on his back.
Who stabbed you?
He did. Well, there was a price on my head, and he was a hired assassin. Stuck me right in the gut with a shiv.
who stabbed you. Oh, he did. And this is like his best friend, but that's the guy that stabbed him. And then he
Right,
stabs
yeah.
him later on in the movie too. And you're like, this. It's just certain things just connect perfectly for the funny. So I usually watch this movie and people are seriously watching it, but I'm laughing most of the time. So it's
Right.
it's just something I enjoy.
Wes Anderson, for most of comedy, for me, comedy is about spontaneity, surprise, and expect that coming. And it's almost as if Wes Anderson deliberately creates you didn't expect coming kind of moment. Like
Yeah.
something is said and then you expect that, oh, we're not gonna do that. And all of a sudden the camera just shifts. It's not even a scene cut, it just shifts to the left and then there's that dude.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
so
yeah.
contrived that it's spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, I love Wes Anderson, and you know, when I saw you had Royal Tenenbaums, it took me like, oh man, like I totally, you know, not that it would have made some of them, like all of them would have made honorable mention for me, and I just forgot to put him in there for his films, and he does great in staging a scene, like better than anyone that I think I've seen. Where if you have, you know, have all the characters in one frame, he does it so well. It's almost like a play on film, and
Exactly.
everything is just. I mean, the script is so tight knit that you can't. I don't know if he gives room for you know, spontaneity and a sense of or improv, but because and then it goes to his writing. I mean, the writing is so tight with the dialogue back and forth, like you just talked about. I love his film. I mean, Life Aquatic, great. I mean,
are
it's just
beautiful.
great, beautiful films. Grand Budapest is one of my favorites for his, and it's just
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
actually my
subtle,
favorite.
funny, man. So I agree with you. Great stuff for Royal Tenenbaums.
I respect the work a ton. Just not my style of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
no, I don't think he's trying to be a comedy, and that's why I love it.
They are beautiful.
So there you go.
Beautiful. All right. Number 8 for me.
Yes.
Number 8. Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan, thank you. We just went blank.
Research.
Yeah, because that's one of your favorite comedies, John.
One of my favorite comedies. Who's that guy? Hilarious.
Clappett.
Never gonna forget it.
Jethro.
So yes, tell us about your favorite comedy, John. Places Trading.
Places Trading, played by two guys that I don't know. This to me, if we do a top 10 Christmas movies, this would be on that list as well.
Yeah.
If we
I
did
agree,
a top 10 Eddie Murphy movies, this would be on that list as well.
Yeah,
This is such a good, solid, from front to back, great story, great dialogue, good humor. You've got Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd at their best. Rags to riches, riches to rags story, a financial Wall Street justice kind of story. Hilarious moments throughout. And just solid as far as continuity of the story, not a bunch of bits and pieces of sketches like Ace Ventura 2, but a solid, contiguous story all the way. I love the Trading Places.
Great movie. You know, for me, it did make my list only because I just haven't watched it as much, and I think that's not a fault to the film. I think if I would have watched it more, it would have made my top. But the times I have, I think one or two times I've seen it. I mean, it's a solid film, great humor, and I feel like Eddie Murphy had a run in the 80s that was just amazing before he kind of crapped out in the late 90s. But
yeah, what happened
I think
with that?
I don't know what he was doing, man. Oh my goodness, let's not even talk about that. But I think that he was such he was a hit in the 80s, and Trading Places is one of those movies that people constantly it always shows up in the top 10, top 20 comedy movies. So good call on that one.
My wife even loves them, and we rarely agree on any comedy.
that works. Now you got two of them.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was Shannon. Here's what I think about this movie. I mean, I haven't seen it in forever, so I really don't remember much about it. The problem I have with it being on a top 10 list is I think that Dan Aykroyd's a hack. I think he's the luckiest actor ever.
Wow.
Like, I think he did well on SNL.
I never heard anybody critique it.
No, I'm not a fan. Like,
Wow.
I feel like you put him in movies with other people that are great, and he does fine. So Eddie
Right.
Murphy carries that
Gotcha.
movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Eddie
Huh.
Murphy carries that movie. Dan Aykroyd probably has some great lines and does a great job.
He plays
but
a
that's
straight
kinda
man
what
in the
he does.
movie, though.
Yeah, he plays a straight man. I don't think it was his movie to do that. Yeah.
So that's fine. But you watch Blues Brothers, and he's not the best guy there, and he's not playing a straight man either. He's trying to be comedic, and yet you're watching it for Belushi the whole time. They even bring in a new Belushi who sucks at comedy, and he still comes
Better
in
than Dan
higher
Aykroyd.
than Dan Aykroyd in that movie. The only movie where I watch him and I'm like, okay, he feels natural to me is which is random, which is The Great Outdoors with him and John Candy, because he's just a total jerk, and it worked. But for me, as just a regular comedic actor, I'm like, this guy's just gotten lucky because he's been connected to the right person all the way through.
Right.
That's
Fair enough. I from you saying that, going through, his movies, whether it's Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, I see
Caddyshack, he's
your
a
point.
replacement for Bill Murray.
Spies Like
I
Us.
Caddyshack 2.
Yeah, Spies. Yeah, I can.
Again,
I
that's
can see
carried
your
by
Three Amigos.
Three Amigos. He's not a big guy. is he?
Oh, never mind.
No, you're thinking of I don't remember his name.
Chevy
Chevy Chase.
who's also Spies Like Us.
Wow.
It's Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
All you white people look alike to me. Let me just say that.
Each one of us is brain farted.
Jet
so
Clampett. There we go. Wow, wow.
Is that a
Racist
philosophy?
too. This podcast is great. Podcast going awesome. No, I mean it's a good point. That's a good point, Scott. I think that you've just changed my whole world. Wow, just had a paradigm shift.
You
on
just
Dan Aykroyd.
seriously, you just shifted my entire mindset about Dan Aykroyd. I'm
Yes,
running
I
through.
don't like Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I'm running through all the
Look at-
movies that I've
look
seen
at the
about
movies.
with Dan Aykroyd.
No, it's a great point.
Is he
Even look at
really
his
funny?
SNL sketch. His biggest SNL sketch that I can think of is Too Wild and Crazy Guy. But the guy that carries that is Steve Martin, not him.
Wow,
Interesting.
And it's an epiphany. There we go.
It is very enlightening. Thank you.
Mhm.
You may be right. No argument from me.
I may be wrong.
Well, my number 8 is Napoleon Dynamite. It is the greatest indie film to hit the big screen.
sad.
But it's higher on somebody else's list.
Yeah. Oh, it's
You
right.
got to punt again, you nerd.
Man,
Rich, that's why I color coded the list. You see the color coded?
Richard doesn't see in color. He's colorblind.
I don't.
He's color-
I'm colorblind.
He's the only
That's
one
why
that-
I'm not racist.
He's the only one
Did
that's
you
self
understand I'm
racist.
a black man.
He's self racist.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I guess
right.
I'll go.
You already did your number 8.
You're good. Go, John.
All right, am I kicking off this time?
Yeah.
Yes, number 7, Life of Brian. So I love the Python guys. Life of
Yes.
Brian, classic. Just the alternate of important time and the comedic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. I just like it. There it is.
You don't like the song at the very end?
Always look on the bright side of life.
Why they're all on the crosses?
While they're
I think
all-
that's the best. The
There,
best.
there are moments when I'm feeling extra gleeful, or and I'm just wandering around, and I do the little whistle.
So good. No,
So
I do.
good.
I love
I
all
didn't
of it.
see it. I didn't see it.
Go watch
Sorry.
it, Rich.
I gotta go watch it.
You're missing
Classic.
out.
Okay. I am.
All right, Rich, go ahead.
All right, my number 7. Does anyone have Bridesmaids? Let me see.
I haven't
I can't
seen
see
it.
colors. What?
No, I,
I
haven't
want
seen
to,
it.
but I haven't seen it. I want to.
You haven't seen either, John?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you must see this. Okay, because look it. Okay.
Tell me
and
why.
here-
Because my
I-
reason
I
for not
don't-
seeing it is
tell us.
because I have a
I
pair.
don't want to offend anybody here, but typically, no, I say typically that is sexist. I don't like women comics. I mean, I just it is very few that jump out, and it's sad. I don't think there's a place that the women aren't funny. I think there's a ton of funny women. I think Goldie Hawn early movies. I really like Goldie Hawn, but I think there are very few women standout movies, comedy movies that I would watch. I'll see a movie or not see a movie, but they'll be advertised on the television or whatever that a movie's coming out. I'm like, that's a female led or had a comedy movie or written by a woman. I'm like, is it going to be funny? Or are they going to play the same trope? Bridesmaids is hilarious, and it is. I mean, look at where it lands on my top 10 over some great comedy movies. And this movie is so solid. It harkens back to me for when I first watched Anchor. Like that is on the level. It's like the female version of Anchorman in terms of the cast, the characters together, the way they play off each other. And it is such a solid comedy. I was tempted to put it over Spaceballs. It is a great comedy in general. Just take, from a female-led comedy or whatever, it is a great comedy. And on top of that, a female-led comedy. To me, it's one of the greatest female-led comedies that I have seen. That in terms again, humor there, watchability there, and it's a great movie. And so you guys got to go and check it out. Can't say more about it. It told a ton of quotable lines. This is the other movie that my wife and I can watch because I can't stomach son-in-law. I want to throw up in my mouth every time it comes to mind. But this is a movie we can sit down and watch together, and it's kind of cool. We have our movies like this where. Because I like comedy. She likes comedy more of a kind of a popular, movies that I don't necessarily like. So this is pretty solid.
When I saw this on your list, it made me check myself, and I thought about
Before you wreck yourself?
Before I wrecked myself with my wife, who's
words for the ICQ.
With my wife, who graduated with a degree in women's studies. That
Wow.
I did not put any movies on here that are traditionally classified as chick like Bridesmaid, and I was wondering how I felt about female comedy or woman-centered comedy. Why that's not higher on my, and this made me check that, and I was wondering how many other rom-coms or female comedies that aren't even on my radar. Like Bridesmaid wasn't even in my purview to go see because I just made that stereotype assumption.
Yeah,
I'm a comedy sexist. I just realized that right now. I'm a comedy
that's the
sexist.
term.
I'm working on now that I've acknowledged it, I'm working on changing it. I guess I am.
How so? You're gonna watch that in Beverly Hillbillies? And
Yeah, we're gonna go through Beverly Hillbillies is not a female comedy.
Here you go. I'll
Oh,
throw
it's not?
some
I have no idea.
female. Watch Bridesmaids and then watch Trainwreck. I think you'll love them.
I need 12 movies for my 12-step recovery.
Yes.
That'll get me out of my comedy sexism, I'm hoping.
You go watch Overboard with Goldie Hawn and
Wanna see-
Kurt Russell.
See, but it's funny that you mentioned that, like John, and then even you saying Overboard. Like society has made us think that woman comedies are all the rom-com. But then
Right.
after I made this list, I'm at home and there's a bunch of them in our DVD list because Kelly's got a bunch of them, and I'm like, you know what? Some of these probably could have made at least my honorable mention list because they are still really funny. But I think they need a little bit more play and regular comedy.
Yeah.
Instead of just being pigeonholed into this other area. But I feel like, okay, I could have added a romantic comedy just for this list because I know there's some out there that are great.
Yeah, that are genuinely good, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I see it on this list, on any of our lists, but something that I know for a fact we all three of us enjoy.
Yeah.
Little Manhattan.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
excellent.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Why are children's comedy and softer, more feminine?
Because we hate kids and women. That's why.
Exactly. Because because we hate children and women. No, because because society. I think you're right, Scott. Society has taught us that this kind of comedy is comedy. Manly comedy is the real comedy, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's not the case, is it?
It's more of a, it's okay, guys. I got it. We got it. We'll
Right.
take care of this jokes.
Yeah.
We'll make you laugh.
It's
It-
cute
it-
that you women try to make jokes, but
Right.
Let's give it to the professionals.
yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
I
All
gotta
right.
change my
Watch
mind
it.
about
when
that.
you watch it, you both should watch it together.
We spent a long time on Bridesmaids there, so
So thanks, guys.
But that was
Appreciate
social commentary,
Sexist.
no, it was good.
Comedic
good.
sex.
We're
appreciate it.
overcoming some. All right, who's
Okay,
up?
so
Scott?
now on to the professionals.
Wow. Jed Clampett.
Hot Fuzz, my number 7.
Great.
And I love Edgar Wright movies. I've only seen a couple of them, but I want to see Shaun of the Dead because of this movie. And I feel like everything is edited to perfection in his movie. And his shots feel like Wes Anderson shots. So they're very centered, or the cuts help you understand what actually is happening in the movie. But beyond that, funny is just ridiculous. Like these two British guys talking about watching a movie that's an American movie and like drawing like their own conclusions about being a cop in certain scenes, like when not Simon Pegg but Nick Frost, when Nick Frost says, "Have you ever pointed your gun in the air and gone ah?"
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It's such a stupid thing. But you watch Bad Boys and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
see where he's pulling that from. But there's so many scenes like that where this guy's trying to be like a macho cop.
By the power of Grayskull. Point Break or Bad Boys 2?
Which one do you think I prefer?
No, I mean, which one do you want to watch first?
You are pulling my leg.
But he's just pulling it from movies. And I think that stuff's hilarious. I think the way they use violence as humor
Yeah.
is hilarious. Like he's fighting old people with guns and he's just blasting the heck out of them. Like it's just ridiculous, totally ridiculous. But all the timing in this movie is excellent.
Yeah, I love me some Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
I just didn't even think about this. It's so good.
Yeah.
And the running jokes that they use, like throughout their movies, like jumping over fences,
Oh yeah.
or how horribly somebody dies in the movie. It just gets worse and worse, but it's like funny. It's good stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean
stuff.
Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors working right now, and he's able to do something that very few directors/writers can do, is to create, like, again, they're based off of genre but create original content. You got Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, The World's End. These are all original movies. There's not based off of some existing property that he has created, and it is
Shaun of the Dead.
well, I mean, in terms of zombie movie, but it's original. He's not going off of Night of the Living Dead. He's not going off of. I mean, like I love where he's taking, like, I'm gonna do something completely different. Now I think Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a comic book, but I love the choices that he makes. And you're right. I mean, his editing. There's a YouTube video on that, but his editing and transition from scene to scene is unique to any director. Instead of having filler and going from one scene to another, he'll do these kind of crazy, like, flybys of a plane, or like in World's End, he does the kind of beer when you're drinking the beer and the transitions of them pouring beer. I mean, it's so good for him.
Yeah.
And all of his films are funny, hilarious. And when I saw it on your list, I was kicking myself, like, man, I totally forgot about Edgar Wright. There's so many, comedy is such a vast genre, and I'm like, man, I should have put that in there.
Well, here's the funny thing about it too. Like you guys mentioned movies that you can watch with your wives. Like I can watch this with Kelly, and Kelly hates violent movies. She
Wow.
hates violent movies,
Yeah,
but she
Shannon,
loves Hot Fuzz. Like we'll
that's
just toss
yeah.
it on a movie
Yeah.
or on a plane or at home. Just loves it.
Wow. Wow. That speaks highly of that.
All right, let's get to number 6. Number 6 for Richard is higher on somebody else's list.
Yeah. Thank you
love
for
this.
pointing
I
it
love
out.
that he never gets to say anything. It's my favorite.
I know.
You know-
Racist.
You know what it is? Richard just understands the two of us better than we understand
Yeah.
ourselves.
I
think
want to
that's what
encourage
it
you
is.
guys.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Scott.
not racist or sexist. Yeah.
number 6.
So
for
you're not
Scott.
you're not gonna talk about Sideways? Just go to me.
Yeah. It should defer you because you just talked
yeah.
about Hot Fuzz.
Well, because your number 6 is higher on somebody else's.
Oh, it is. So I won't
Yes,
say
it
anything.
is. It is.
So
there you
we're
go.
going to go to me. Sideways. Sideways is not. Is it really actually classified as a comedy on IMDb? I'm not
I
sure.
don't think so.
I don't. I can
But
check.
it's still
Go ahead
funny.
and talk. I'll check.
It's funny. It's funny because it sets up these awkward social situations, and for me, that's my pinnacle of comedy. When you highlight social quirks and weird, funny, arbitrary norms, mores we have in society, you highlight those and point out the absurdity. I love comedy that talks. I love comedy that reminds us humans we are human. We are fundamentally flawed. Sideways is a movie that's all about two guys trying to find out who they are, and in the process, discovering all of their quirks, weirdness, humor that folds. I think it's sophisticated, it's smart, a little bit intellectual, heady.
Right. Yeah.
But I love it. I love it.
Just try to be your normal, humorous self, okay? The guy you were before the tailspin. Do you remember that guy? People love that guy. And don't forget, your novel is coming out in the fall.
Oh, really? How exciting. What's it called?
Come here, Moss. Come here. Do not sabotage me. If you want to be a fucking lightweight, then that's your call, but do not sabotage me.
Oh, aye, Captain, you got it.
And if they want to drink Merlot, we're drinking Merlot.
No, if anybody orders Merlot, I'm leaving. I am not drinking any fucking Merlot!
Okay, relax, Miles. Jesus, no Merlot. Did you bring your Xanax? All right. Here. Do not drink too much. Do you hear me? I don't want you passing out or going to the dark side. No going to the dark side.
Okay!
No, Sideways is a great film. It is classified. I mean, I don't know how much this gives any validation. The Golden Globes put it as best musical or comedy, but they put that for The Martian as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's seen as comedy drama. But you're right. I think in terms of humor, it's there. I think overall movie, again, in my scale, movie or humor, watchability, and quality of movie. It's a solid movie. It got nominated for a ton of awards. It won an Oscar for best adapted screenplay. It is such a great movie. I think the watchability for me, for me it's a harder movie to watch a lot, but the humor's there. The writing obviously won an Oscar for it. Great movie, great choice. Could say nothing bad about Sideways. And it's a callback to just kind of smart humor. I think there needs to be more movies like that. It's a slow burn. It's not kind of in your face as a Tommy Boy, but it's not knocking Tommy Boy. It's just a different type of movie. But this is. I wish there were more comedies like that.
Scott, you Sideways?
Never seen Sideways. It makes me interested in seeing it though.
Ooh, you got to see it.
See it.
You'll love wine. You'll love wine if you don't love it already.
I'm all right with wine, I guess. I think that's the way I look at Sideways that way. I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with wine. I'm okay with those two actors. Maybe I'll catch it out. Maybe I'll have a sip and I'll smell it. I don't know.
All right. Well, that is the first half of our top 10 list. I know we went really long on this one, guys.
Yes, we did. Reno 911 took most of the time.
No, Bridesmaid did actually.
Because we love women.
Because we've learned something about ourselves is what happened right there, and that was
right.
a little life lesson moment.
It was.
So I guess what we have to do is two things. Number one, do the second half later, and number two, learn how to tighten up our time when we do this again.
Yes.
All right, so we will do our second half another time. Sorry, guys, audience, if you were prepared to listen to a top 10. We didn't know how long-winded we all were, but come back next time.
Yeah.
For the cliffhangers of our top 10 comedies.
Ooh, I like that.
Leave it a top 10 comedy.
I like what you did there.
See, you see that?
I did see that.
Good.
Okay, until next time, I am 1/3 of the hosting team of Subpar Overachievers. That's us. I'm John Lamb.
I am Richard, the black guy that you don't see.
I'm Scott McIntosh, professional.
We'll see you next time, folks.
See ya.
Yeah.